Baez. Wow!
Oh, you got to be kidding me! You've got to be
They
kidding me!
stole a run. You have got to be kidding me. Javi Baez.
Keep going! Go!
Check away, and now the counter. Here come the Caps. Kuznetsov gets loose. Evgeny coming down the middle. A shot, and it comes in over. He scores! He scores!
And they start with a horrible snap all the way back to the 2-yard line, and the Browns bounce it into the end zone where they wind up with a touchdown. Of all crazy things, you don't go into the playoffs for 18 years, and that is the way it starts in the first 14 seconds.
Hello to all of our BPTV friends, YouTube friends, Facebook friends. We're here, Pittsburgh Sportsline's live tonight in the BPTV studio. We're having some technological difficulties. I practice saying that. And we're ready to do our show for you. We think we're on Facebook. We think we're on YouTube. And we're hoping we're on TV to all of our longtime friends and fans there. And we're still holding steady on Facebook, almost 7,500, and 411 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you for all that. We appreciate it. I don't know if I can interact with you on Facebook. Does not look that way. So thank you for watching. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Smoking Jim Frazier. Mike Rohde, Steve Cresani liked it so much 2 weeks ago, he's back again. And then, hey, Aaron, I don't know, can I hold up one of my promos before we do our promos?
I don't think anybody's going to be able to zoom in on you.
All right. Guess what? We're not going to do that. And we normally go to our promos.
Hello, Bethel Park. This is Mr. Bold with your Bethel Park Minute. No Cook Tuesdays return this Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. in the Park Avenue Playground parking lot next to the Bethel Park Community Center. Check the Bethel Park Recreation socials for a listing of this week's food truck offerings. The Bethel Park Halloween Parade is scheduled for this Saturday, October the 25th from 9 to 11 a.m. Check Bethel Park's socials and the website for more information on the parade routes. As a reminder, Halloween decorating contest voting will take place between October 23rd and the 31st. If you are interested in participating as a judge, please reach out to Janet Davin at the Municipal Building to sign up. As a reminder, Bethel Park Trick or Treat will take place on Halloween, which is Friday, October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. And save the date for the TV and electronics recycling event that is scheduled for Saturday, November 8th. The collection will take place from 10 to 2 in the Wave Pool parking lot. This is a free collection event with the exception of items containing Freon or coolant, which will require a cash or check payment of $25. This has been Mr. Bold with your Bethel Park Minute.
Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oil's is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. We're going to go right in, folks. This is old school, like we were in the other end of the police station where our studio was like a closet. But we got two nice desks here. I don't know if I can handle this pressure. I'm a little folding under here. We got Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind? And I know it's not the Buccos. That's a $5 hat.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you
Drew
got to see
Drew
Levine.
took me to
Relish,
a movie.
Relish.
Relish.
Oh, I've been looking for a package of relish.
The
Yay.
next 3 weeks, I grabbed a
you.
handful. I had to sneak it out of there.
Oh,
no
man.
security.
Oh,
No offense,
thank you,
man.
That was,
I put it in
that
my
was
pocket.
From your years of growing up on the hill.
Well, I grew up in Greentree more than that. I was only a baby in the hill.
But the only question I can ask is, how about my Cowboys? I tell you what, man, the Dallas Cowboys is already one of the best teams in football. That Jerry Jones, another 10 years, Jerry. I tell you what, he won that trade. He saved $188 million, $47 million a year for a disgruntled cancer in the locker room player. Al Levine, the talking machine, C.D. Lamb, and George Pickens look like brothers. I mean, they was out there doing their thing. Dak Prescott, MVP of the league, that running back they got from Denver. And now, the next 2 years, Al Levine, the talking machine, they get 2 first-round draft choices in 26, 2 first-round draft choices in 27. They're going to be a dynasty. Al Levine, the talking machine.
You heard it here first.
We come from the same team. One is 4-2 with the Chicago Bears. The other is 0-7 with the Jets. He looks like he's in over his head. He's the one that said he don't need Aaron Rodgers. Didn't want Aaron Rodgers. Where would the Jets
Who you
be
talking
right now
about?
if they Aaron Glenn? Where would the Jets be
Hold
right
it.
now?
Time out.
Not only are they 0-7.
You're in so much trouble. Bama Barbie, our friend from Alabama.
I love my Bama Barbie.
She said you liked Aaron Glenn when he was a player.
Oh,
you
I liked him at
promoted
Texas A&M. I liked him with the Jets.
And she goes, no, you're talking bad about her
I got to. He ain't no head coach. And Al Levine, the talking machine.
He's saying it, Bama Barbie. I can't interact with you.
The Jets got a chance. And you know I like records. You know, the Pirates 20 years in the Guinness Book of World Records. Al Levine, the talking machine, I like records. They could be the first NFL team to go 0-17.
That's right, because they only had 0-16 once.
Yeah.
That's true.
Thanks, Smoking Jim, but you're in trouble, so I'm happy to move on from you.
Bama Barbie.
Well, I can't wait till you start backpedaling on that. What's on your mind, Mike?
There's not a lot of Justin Fields supporters left, are there?
Why would they be?
Need to bring back Justin Fields, develop him. All right, first and
No,
foremost.
give him a chance.
Yeah, because he needs to develop, right? So first and foremost, Jim, If you can't beat them, join them, my friend.
All right, baby.
Hey, based on Shohei Ohtani's performance the other night, he hit 10 home runs and I think he struck out the entire city of Milwaukee.
Wow.
That guy makes so much money. This guy can actually pay his employees to take the fall for him and go to jail.
I love it.
What in the name of Barry Bonds is going on there?
I love it.
I'm kidding. I jest.
Hold it. There may be some truth to that because he was the translator.
Exactly. You know what? Hey, if you got that,
we'll dig deep, fans.
We all know if you got that kind of money, you can do what you want. That guy has $700 million coming to him after 10 years, right? He's already a billionaire. He's making so much money from ads in Japan, he could defer that $700 million.
Well, he's better than the
years.
Bobby Bonilla deal.
Oh, by far.
And that was legendary.
Absolutely. He's going to be making $70 million a year versus $1 million a year. With Bonilla,
but look at what it was back then when he signed that.
Exactly. Wow. Well, but we got to talk Steelers, right? Obviously, that's pretty much why
we bleed black and gold.
So, look, Mike Tomlin was not afraid of Joe Flacco going there. A lot of people said that. What he was afraid of is getting a competent quarterback to go to and throw to those two receivers. Like you mentioned about Lamb and Pickens, there's only one combo that's better than those two.
Right.
And the Bengals got them, right?
Good point.
So, and this one hurt a little bit. It did. It hurt because it was Flacco there for 10 days. It was Joe Flacco, for crying out loud, our arch nemesis.
Yeah.
That one's hard to get over. It's going to be even harder to get.
26 games.
At the end of the day, they're still 4-2, right? And there's a lot of season to go. And now the season kind of starts. You know, last year we were, 7-2, and then they said, well, they went on this horrific slide. No, they didn't. They just got beat by the best teams in the league, right? So now look what they've got coming up, another huge gauntlet coming up. So now we'll see what they really are. I don't think the defense is – they can't possibly be as bad as what they showed. But then again, they're obviously using like the Pythagorean theorem to dissect offenses.
You went above his head.
The guys, I went above my own head. I just remember that from high school. I don't even remember what it means.
It
sounds really smart.
It's a Greek thing, and it's about math.
It sounds really intelligent.
He didn't learn that in Gateway, though.
Listen, the Steelers need to start recruiting or scouting MIT and Carnegie Mellon football players because obviously their defensive calls are so difficult, nobody can figure them out. They've been confused now all year long. You know, but unfortunately, when they line up to cover people, Joey Porter, as you said a long time ago, grabs them every time. The guy could literally get called for holding every time. They're just nice to him, I think. So, but I don't think the defense is that bad. I think they'll come around, but they are what they are. You know, the only hope, in my opinion, the Steelers have right now, they have to decide whether they're all in or not right now.
They did decide they're
Well, what have I been saying? And I'm a broken record. I'm going to keep skipping until someone down there listens to me, Al.
All right, get it out.
4 tight ends do not equal a wide receiver 2. Okay, you should not. I'm glad Pat Fryermuth came through there at the end, but you should not be throwing to tight ends in the fourth quarter when you're down.
Good point.
You just shouldn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So if Pickens was here, and I don't want to hear anymore about how Pickens. Oh, we wouldn't have done it here. Why not? He didn't have a receiver on the other side of him. He didn't have a quarterback who can throw him the ball.
Right.
They didn't have this offensive line. Rodgers isn't getting touched anymore, except by his own linemen when they jump on him. You know, they've got pretty much everything. You know, in my mind, if they're going to truly be all in, go and get that second wide receiver now and try to outscore everybody. If they got George Pickens on Sunday, they don't lose that game.
That's right.
They score 45 points.
That's right.
Because that is, you'd think the Steelers' defense was bad. That was a Little League Pee Wee team. Did you see how much time he had? It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and they're not going to have that luxury, obviously, the rest of the year. But the only way I think they have to come to face the reality that it's not 1982, and you can't win it with defense. And you can't, you know, all the resources they threw on defense isn't going to make that much of a difference because of how the NFL's set up. If they really think they're in it this year, and they've got a shot this year, which I don't know if they do or not, but if they truly believe they do, now's the time to go all in. Future be darned, right? Now's the time to go all in. Get that second receiver. I don't know who it is. You got to think guys like Chris Olave, Jaden Waddle on bad teams, good receivers on bad teams are going to come available.
Right.
Probably not Waddle as much now since Hill got hurt, but, you know, Olave would be my number one target and then go from there.
I
right?
like
You're hearing
that.
rumblings with the Eagles, can get one of those guys. You put, I'm not saying they're going to, Imagine if you get an A.J. Brown, even a Chris Olave type on the other side from DK Metcalf. Aaron Rodgers doing what he's doing, throwing to them. These backs are doing what they're doing. This line's doing what it's doing. And throw on those really good 4 tight ends. Now you can outscore anybody, and you just might need to.
You've been singing it all year in preseason, Mike. I appreciate consistent people. That's respected. All right, second show for my man Steve. What's on your mind?
Well, I was going to talk about the Steelers too.
We're a lot, yeah.
And in what you were saying, I have some issues there. Number one, after that game was over, I believe it was Lamar Chase said, "We know what they were going to do. We knew exactly what they were going to do." And the problem with it is because it's Tomlin, he wants to play defense like it's 2008. Thinks that they can win that way. Yep. He does the same thing over and over again. And Lamar Chase saying it is no different than when you had other players from other teams in the past say they don't change. We know what they're going to do. It's so easy to predict what they're going to do on defense.
Yeah, great point.
And that will be their Achilles heel because their head coach is unwilling to change and is going to go down this path and live and die with it. And with that problem there. The other issue with the Steelers on offense, I agree, to get that receiver. I says, and even more so now, because the way I look at it, there isn't a first-round quarterback there at all. So
others have
don't
been
waste
saying that too.
Don't waste your picks on a quarterback this year because you ain't going to get one. Maybe you get Rodgers to stay for another year. Develop and see what you got in the kid from Ohio State. You know, it doesn't hurt to see what's there. But save those picks, get a receiver this year off someone else.
What about some linemen, which I've been saying for 5 years?
You need some help on the defensive line too.
I've been saying both lines. They're lacking.
I think their offensive line is doing pretty darn good.
I'll give credit.
Better and better.
I was going to get into mine, so I'll give a little prelude to it. The offensive line did come together a lot. We even had holes for running backs to go through. If you notice, when you see Jalen Warren tries hard, I give him credit. He's not a number one back. But if you make a hole for him, he doesn't quit running and going after people. And look what he did. He had a great day. So the running game came back for a bit.
Well, the defensive line, I don't know why they have Benton playing where they have him playing. He just is not meant to be in the middle there. He gets blown off the ball constantly. Put him on the outside. Let him rush the quarterback some. Put some pressure that way. Maybe it'll help Watt.
Yeah, he
or
needs
Highsmith, whatever side you put him on.
Watt needs help
They're
because
definitely
look
need
at all
help
the chipping they're
next year
doing on
and
Watt.
Draft another defensive lineman too. So.
And how does Herbert get the fewest snaps out of those 3 outside linebackers? The way he's been dominating. You know, if someone wants to come up with some ridiculous excuse for that, I really like to hear it.
Tomlin said today. He says because they were running the ball on us so well.
That's nonsense.
But his defensive coordinator had said, I believe earlier, that he is really good against the run.
I think Flacco's still completing passes out there against them.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, if anything, there's miscommunication because we all like Herbig. He tries on every play. He can tackle. He's not like Joey Porter who can't make a tackle.
And Joey Porter, you know, he is exactly what he was in college. And they knew this coming out. Everybody talked about it. He grabs a lot. He pulls and holds and everything else.
He's handsy. When do you hear a guy's handsy? And I heard he only had 1 interception because I watched Penn State. My daughter went there, so I support Pitt and Penn State. I got that dichotomy going. And when they were saying they're going to draft him because he's Peasy's son, I'm like...
Well, they said he was a first-round pick, and I remember saying, no, he wasn't a first-round pick. He maybe late second, early third. The problem I have, and I'm not so much blaming him, I'm blaming the coaching staff because they do not develop these guys.
That's true.
He has not. He's regressed.
Yeah.
He's regressed. He hasn't. What is his third year now, right?
No, second.
Second year?
Oh, that's third.
Third
Yeah,
year?
that's right.
He has not gotten any better, and I hold that coaching staff responsible because how does he not get better?
Yeah. We have had some discussions with Mike and Chip and others. Like, I played high school football. Only time I played football, could have gone to college, even CMU, but that's another story.
I couldn't go to see him.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you. They wanted to see your degree. But anyhow, you just see the difference when you have good coaches. I have coaches, we meet with our football teams over 30 years, and they're like friends, and they help me become a better person and a player. One of my coaches is on the Hall of Fame in Bethel Park, Coach Don Murray. He taught me how to be a center, hike the ball and be low and come up underneath linemen. I was 195 pounds going against 250 to 300, but when you're young, I wanted to run through that wall. And he's teaching me to do that. Then at meetings, they go, Al, you got to go to the next level. And I'm like, what? He's like, you got to hit that linebacker because now you're past the other guy and the guy's running behind you. My dad's talking to a buddy and I'm downstairs in my room and he goes, Saul, you don't know what Alan's doing. He goes, I don't know football, I know basketball. He goes, he's hitting a defensive lineman, then hitting a linebacker. They're doing that in college and your kid's doing it a senior year. Wow. And that's what I heard and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So that, Mike, that's why I bring up what a coach did for me. I played football in the street, was a great quarterback, but we had an all-conference quarterback named Rich DeMeo. He ended up going to Cincinnati or whatever. He led the Whippeal total quarterback, 4 receivers with over 20 catches, 1974. Look up the records. So that's where we had coaches that were younger, and they were in tune with what we did. We didn't get water, so we didn't complain, but we kept doing that. We go triple practices, no water except in between. We were dying, and they got us in the greatest shape that we could ever be, and we thought we could beat everybody. We had to go up against Upper St. Clair, Cannon Mac, Bethel Park, Trinity, Uniontown. We only qualified with 500 kids graduating. Everybody else had 1,500, 2,000. We had bigger kids in the band. But my thing is, if you get a coach that can inspire somebody, look at Lombardi, look at even Pete Carroll with what he did.
Anna Marino.
Well, I never met him. Okay. Yeah, we didn't get to hear about the Gateway stealing players and whatever else they did. But I believe that if you can coach them up, and then I'll stop with my little vent here, you look at coaching trees. Bella Cheater, the Harbaughs, we don't like them. Look at their coaching trees. And Bella Cheater, he has one of the best coaching trees out there.
Well, Tomlin's an interesting subject. There's no denying the fact that his
We got extra time to talk, so dig.
Yeah,
we
there's
can
no
dig
doubt
on
his reputation is very, very strong amongst players in the league. Players want to come and play for him. There's no debating that. Right, but I talked about what if they would have took Ibuka in the first round, the wide receiver? Would he even be playing?
Wow,
right?
Yeah,
probably not.
Caleb Johnson. Now, I think he'll play people out of necessity, like when you draft a center that doesn't want to play center because everybody.
Green.
All of a sudden you have to.
Hold it, wait. Let me go back.
In retrospect,
here. He was a good guard in college, and I said this on the show before you were on. It takes different blocking skills, footwork, and everything to go from guard to center.
No, my point is they had to play him. I don't think he wanted to, but Pouncey just retired all of a sudden out of nowhere, so they had to play him.
Well,
so I think
why
Cowher,
didn't they have a replacement?
I think Cowher is a very good coach for people who want to be coached or are able to be coached.
Okay, good
point.
point.
When they get to maybe their 4th, 5th year, he doesn't want much to do with people of really carving them out. And I think that's why they've had all these receivers that they've had to trade away. They got him late. They got Martavius Bryant in the 4th round because he had problems. They got Pickens in the 2nd round because he had problems. All these other receivers, and they traded him away because they fall in that 1 to 4 years where he doesn't want to deal with it.
Well,
so
they got Joey Porter because he had problems being a defensive player.
Well, I think it's not just a player being a problem. I think that, I don't see him as a true players coach. Yeah, people want to play for him. But when you have this many problems with this many players and you have to get rid of them, what are you doing that you have this problem?
Well, again, I
you
think
nipped that in the bud from the start.
Yeah, and I got a point too.
Right.
I think they those receivers they were all first-round talent who fell out of the first round because they had such problems in
No, those are good points.
Antonio Brown,
and so
Claypool.
they're like, let's Claypool another one. Same thing.
I mean,
they all had reputations that preceded them, and that's why they fell into the second, third, fourth round, whatever.
I'm going to put something out about the coaching from Tomlin. We had the 3 Bs were the top players in their generation. They'd go, you got the 3 Bs, look how great all of them are. How many Super Bowls did we win?
You've heard my response to that.
That's why I'm just bringing it up with Steve
The
here.
Houston Oilers had the Steelers.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The 49ers had the Cowboys. Yeah. The Steelers had the Patriots. Yeah. There was just, and right now the Bills have the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, how many times the Patriots beat us?
Almost every time, And,
they weren't in it a
pretty
couple times.
Well, okay, but I'm saying it in general.
I agree
That's
on
the
that.
team that stayed. If the Patriots, if Tom Brady would have been in the NFC, the Steelers would have won 3 more Super Bowls.
You think?
Yeah, I have no doubt. No doubt about
it.
Wow. They got to 3 more Super Bowls.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was going to question the win.
Yeah, because they stood in their way time and time again. And
all right, I can go with that. No doubt. To me, coaching is a key component to
without question.
And
the
players, here's what I get in arguments all the time. People go, Al, you're so negative about these players. I go, they're multi-million-dollar prima donnas. And all they have to do is what they did in college, block somebody. So what are they doing? Then they say they need coached up. Okay, we don't have that.
They also have to want to be coached.
Well,
look at guys like Stephon Diggs who've been to 4 different teams who are all pro talents, right? So sometimes you sell your soul.
You get me on my theory about 2-cent brains and multi-million-dollar players. And my point is, I just wanted to play the game. We did it for the love of the game. If you're paying me $1 million, I want to run through the wall now. I'd run through the water and everything else. Guess what? I'm incentivized because I wanted to play. I wasn't a raw guy. But when it came to play, I'm out there playing. I leave it all out there.
They don't care about that anymore.
See, and that's the problem.
TJ wanted $1 million.
No, he wanted $1 more.
1 cent more than Garrett.
Yeah.
That's all he cared about.
And then look at what they're not doing with TJ. How about moving him around on the line?
Nah.
You're against it. Do you see how they're blocking him?
So is TJ.
Yeah, that's the reason.
You see how they're blocking him? He disappeared the last game. He had 1 sack.
He got 4 sacks on the season. He's in line for MVP. Hey, listen, Lawrence Taylor never moved. Derek Thomas never moved. You don't take something that ain't broke. It ain't broke. He got 100 sacks faster than anybody in the history of the game except for Reggie White. So why move him? You make everybody else better. Is Herbig playing better? Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not in all the time.
Huh? Oh, yeah. That's the problem.
Then here's the other problem there.
They got the black guy with freckles in it.
Yeah. Well, that's your Highsmith guy, and you just got something against black people, so I don't know why it is. But here's the point. You watch all this film. Now, wouldn't you say some good teams have smart defensive coordinators?
Yeah, we lost one.
And wouldn't you say some have good offensive coordinators?
Yeah.
Well, guess what they see with TJ? We'll get the tackle to hit him, we'll get a running back to come back, and we may have the tight end circle around and get him for the 3rd time.
What they get with James Harrison? He never moved around.
It's changed. The game has changed.
Well, what's the change? Beat the man in front of you. And that's what TJ does.
Well,
they bring in a guy exclusively to stop him after he beats that guy.
Then, so if he's being double teamed, that means somebody's free.
That's my point.
Somebody should be coming
free.
See,
he fell into my trap. I've been trying to get it out for 10 minutes. Oh,
the
my
Steelers
goodness.
As long as you don't move TJ, I have no problem.
But what they've not done is innovate. The Steelers have not innovated anything. I even bought into it almost that, putting in the big tight end as a tackle and playing 4 tackles was an innovation. No,
Larry
it turns
Brown.
out that's just another
Larry
Cro-Magnon
Brown
thing.
did that.
because-
Wait, go
Yeah,
back to
it's-
Larry Brown.
But I'm just saying, like the
legend.
Steelers, that the biggest problem that they have is that they don't innovate. And I'm a Tomlin fan. I love him. I've said it before on record here that he's past his expiration date here.
Like in hockey.
He should go someplace else because right now he's been given autonomy. He's the Pope. He's never going to
whether
get
we like
fired.
it or not, he'll be here long enough to break Don Shula's record. So
Maybe.
buckle up another 20 years, y'all.
Well, when ESPN.
9 wins a year times how much?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's doing.
Unless Art Rooney steps down and one of his grandkids step in with a different. Long as Art Rooney's here, Coach Tomlin will be here.
Well, he's at 187, and Knowles at 193, and I think that's one of the big reasons now they want him. So Art Rooney
He's
Jr.
that
can
close
sit there and say, "Oh, look, he's our greatest coach."
Better than my
Steeler."
dad.
Wow, he's
Yeah,
that close to Chuck Knowles. Wow, I didn't
realize
know
that.
that.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, Knowles at 193, and he's at 187.
So he
That's
needs
why
about
Steve's here.
He needs about 100 more or so to get Don Shula.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's 6 away from Knowles. So. You know.
Since we got time, I got to have a discussion with Smoke and
Let's
Jim.
get that 200.
Say I agree with you about T.J. Watt.
You got to.
No, I don't. Say I do. I disagree.
Okay.
Because what has happened with him doing the same thing?
Last 2 years he finished in the top 5.
What's the rest of the
defensive MVP.
defense doing while he's getting triple teamed?
What's that got to do with him?
Winning games?
But I mean, if it's not broke, if
is
Lou
broke.
Alcindor,
I just gave you
is
that.
throwing that sky hook, or Will Chamberlain's grabbing
I
rebounds
gave you
under,
that.
do you put him out at the 3-point line?
Yeah.
No, you keep him where he's dominant.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You won me over.
All right.
I think what Alan
yes.
is saying is, if TJ's getting double, triple team, someone else should be getting free,
That's
and
right.
they're
Yes,
not.
Exactly.
And you
Well,
couldn't
they-
answer it.
they
Thanks
were-
for spelling it out, buddy.
They were, though, before. I don't know what happened in this game.
Well, I think
I don't
it goes
know.
back to players like Benton being out of position
Yeah.
and
getting beat.
not having enough help on the defensive line yet. You know, I think that you got some promising rookies there, but I think you need more. You still need more.
We need linemen.
And Hayward's been completely invisible.
He looking like he's showing his age.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Maybe that's why he was begging for more money.
Guess what? If we go to the playoffs and they win, he can get $3 million.
Yeah.
Is that what
I
it
want to
is?
know who negotiated that.
That might be if we get Jacksonville. If the Steelers get Jacksonville in the playoffs, chalk it up.
So we said last time we played it.
And a
Actually.
lot,
Yeah.
I think a lot of it too is the fact that everybody knows what they're going to do on defense. They do the same thing,
Yeah.
and everybody knows how to prepare for it, and they know how to beat it. And that's what's happening right now.
I'm not sure I buy that. No offense,
know?
but I always hear guys. We knew exactly what they were gonna do. We don't know. Come on. That's him just really hating the Steelers. Just like the Steelers say horrible things about the Browns. They all do it back and forth.
There's some guys
I
in
think
New
they
England
just
that
got
said the
outplayed.
same
I think
thing
it was
about it,
just
too.
it was a fluke game. I'll be willing to bet you Flacco doesn't have another game like that again, maybe in his career.
470
was
yards.
ju-
You may be right. Take the bet.
It was a fluke game. I don't think the defense is good, but I don't think it's that bad. But we'll see. I could be proven wrong. You're gonna know now, and you start to play. You know, Green Bay. You've got Buffalo's coming up. You got the Colts. You know, you got all these teams coming. You know, we'll see. I'm hoping that was just a let's brush that aside and we'll forget about it in a couple of weeks. But I don't know.
They were
we'll
so
see.
confident going into the game.
I think we all were.
Well, they were confident going into the year. Tomlin and some of those
Right.
guys were saying,
So, I mean,
legendary
Historic
defense.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry, you'll never
historic.
beat a 76
no, the
Steelers.
historic,
Period.
highest paid
No one will.
defense. What's
Yeah.
that even matter?
Yeah. Well, that's
We
again.
debunked that.
You know, too many resources into the defense. Their biggest sin, I've said it all along, is them thinking defense still wins games.
Right.
You don't need a top level. You don't need a top flight defense in this league. You need a middle at best who can
saying that for 2 years,
come up
yeah.
with a good play when they need to. right? Not a dominant defense because it doesn't exist anymore. Let me tell you something. Nobody in the NFL is a good defense. You watch games on Sunday?
Yeah.
Nobody does. When it comes
was
down
a
to
tough day
a
watching
great
football
pass
Sunday.
and a great catch, they're going to beat the defense every time. That's what the NFL wants. They don't want hockey. They don't want soccer. They want high-flying offenses. They want 35-30 games. And so you have to have an opportunistic defense, which I think they can do, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was against this team Thursday, but we'll see. But I think they need, again, if you're in it, then be in it.
Well,
Go all in for this year.
I
Go
like
all
your
in.
number 2 receiver. I've been with you for the last year. You do need a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see what happens. All right,
Scotty Miller ain't going to do it, Jim.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Steve got his segment in since we don't have our segments. Hey, Al, what's on your mind? Well, Steelers. But then I saw Toronto's going to play the Dodgers in the World Series. So that'll be interesting to see that. Especially is money going to buy another World Series? Probably. We will see what happens. Then, little side note, the Penguins. I was worried, they had a couple wins, then they lose. Then Jari comes up. Malkin and Crosby score goals and assists, and Jari gets a shutout.
Wow.
What is going on there? All right, back to the Steelers. How do we solve this problem? I mean, Rodgers has impressed me. We would call him Karen and everything else. He even showed he could run a little bit. For 41 years old, that's pretty darn good. But the guy at 40 was out throwing you all day long. And he can hit every pass possible. Then the announcers are announcing all these tight ends. And I'm sitting there with Drew. I go, why aren't they throwing to the guy that caught 65 passes last year, Freiermuth? Just because he got disciplined because he couldn't block. He never has had the block.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You sit him down a little bit. Then they're going, we got Jono, we got this guy, we got Mount Washington. I've been begging since last year. Take 2 yards instead of 2 behind, 2 in front, throw to Mount Washington. He gets tackled, they gain 4 yards. They do that. Then they get away from it. Then they hit Jono, then he spreads it around, and then, you got some bad passes and bad blocking and whatever else. Then, Freiermuth gets a 68-yard touchdown.
Wow.
And I'm going to Drew. I go, what did I say? He goes, Dad, I'm tired of hearing you. Then he gets another pass, and I'm thinking the announcers are going, yeah, they got all these tight ends, like it's a big deal. Wait, what are they doing with them? They're announcing the game that we got all these tight ends. I'm like, where's innovation? We got nothing. So I'm still a Steeler fan. I bleed black and gold, and I'm only telling you the truth. We're going to move on from this. We got Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Get ready. We're ready now.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. I thought, and shout out to my business partner, Aaron Ward, doing a great job in the back. Al Levine, the talking machine. And Mike and Steve, I thought Seattle was going to the World Series. Seattle didn't make it?
Do you know baseball?
Oh, Seattle's never made it to the World Series.
See how he plays down. Am I your good straight man tonight?
And let me ask you guys this. When was the last time the Green Bay Packers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh? And I'll give you a hint. I was at the game. Anybody remember?
I don't remember.
Man, no.
Terry Bradshaw's rookie year, 1970. Bradshaw throws 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. It was one of the coldest games, according to the fans. It was only 20 degrees, but that wind was blowing off the river, Al Levine, the talking machine. The fans was complaining, and here's how I remember. I don't know if you were at the game, Steve. You know, halftime sometimes they'll bring in a rugby team or the Gremlin band and stuff like that. They had entertainment at halftime.
Not at the
The
Steelers.
Steelers, oh yeah, this is before your time.
I'm older
this
than
is
you.
1970.
I'm older than
but
you.
you wasn't near in 1970. Al Levine, the talking machine.
I was 14.
They brought in one of my favorite comedians, Phyllis Dillard. I don't know if you
know
remember
who
that,
Phyllis
Steve.
Diller
I
is.
remember.
The fans booed her so bad because the Steelers was playing. I felt so. You could not hear her jokes. They booed Phyllis Diller so bad. Hell, Levine, the talking machine. The fans were so pissed because the Steelers wasn't playing good that game against Green Bay. Bart Starr beat us. L. Levine, the talking machine, and Green Bay
Well,
wasn't
I
that
believe
good
I
at the
believe
time.
most about what you're saying, but up until
I beat him.
up till 72, it was always SOS.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they could be more disappointed than 40 years of losing.
Well, they won 5 games in 70.
Yeah, 5 and 8 that
70,
year.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a winning
Yeah,
record?
They won one after winning one in '69. They should. And they was coming off of a 2-game winning streak.
I know, but is that a winning record?
No.
They weren't pissed off.
No.
He's adding a little comedic stuff here. Thank you, Smoking Jim. I
You're
appreciate the
welcome.
history lesson. All right, we don't have the graphics, but we got Raging Mike Rohde time.
Listen, I just want to say I was thoroughly against the transfer portal, the one and dones.
You said it.
All
Yeah.
that stuff. I have completely changed my mind.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
I got to hear why.
At number 2, Indiana University. At number 3, Texas A&M.
Wow.
At number 7, Georgia Tech. At number 10, Vanderbilt.
Wow.
At number 11, BYU. At number 14, Texas Tech. Missouri's in there. Virginia's in there. Teams can actually now compete with the big boys because they can go and get those backup quarterbacks that are itching to play and might even be better than the starter but never get a chance. Now they can just go here and they can go there. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Vanderbilt looked awesome on Saturday. I'm on the Vanderbilt train.
No, I
start
watched
watching
the
that
game.
team.
Yeah, no,
It was fantastic.
I saw highlights with Indiana too.
It was, Indiana's a powerhouse. Indiana, who would have thought Indiana, Ohio State's going to be the game of reckoning?
Which
coming
coach
up?
is making the most?
Well, Signetti just got that monster extension. They don't want to let he's what, 104 years old? They gave him like 20-year extension, Jim?
Yeah, I think he is.
So they were so terrible. All it took was for someone to say, oh, yeah, Penn State might come get Signetti. Next day, guy gets a $20 million extension. It's hilarious. Don't worry, they got enough alumni to buy him out for $50 million in a couple of years.
Hey,
and they start getting bad again.
I'm glad you're into that. I'm still against the portal and how it is. It should have some guardrails on it.
I like it.
It should have, with coaches in college, a contract is a contract, except for them, it's one and more money.
It's just
1
turn
year
college
and more
football
money.
into another football league.
Well,
That's all it is.
What they
The
are
one-year
is
contracts
they're
that
the
get
minor
paid.
leagues for
That's
the
all it is.
NFL is how it's been.
Yeah, and the NFL doesn't cooperates them with anything because it's a free farm system.
Exactly.
Right? So they let them,
baseball
they
would love that.
cooperate all,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But hey, like I said, these teams that are in there now, and you still got your Ohio States and Alabamas and Georgias, of course, and you always will. That's fine.
Alabama looks
now
for
you've got-
real.
now-
Shout out to Bama Barbie. She loves her Roll Tide roll. And they actually look good. What do you think? Have you seen Alabama?
Yeah, I think they
look like the real
started
deal.
off slow,
They did.
and then they picked it up.
Well, they had a first-time starting quarterback.
So they're
And look at how good he's been. And then
Ty Simpson.
like the SEC, I always tell her, Bama Barbie, if she's listening, when I saw Paul Bear Bryant and Joe Namath playing there, I became a fan of SEC back then. Wow. And then I knew people in Beaver Falls, and he came back with a Southern accent. And look, he changed AFL and NFL. But just seeing Bear Bryant and how his Alabama teams then were, and him in his tweed and hat and everything else, I just thought that's a legendary coach.
They didn't show film of them on Sundays. Only Notre Dame, Grambling, and USC, baby.
Whoa, there you go. There's our man History. He's on the History Channel tonight. Very good. All right, we got to go to Steve's segment. This is whatever you want to talk about, even Steelers.
okay. Well, I'm going to talk about the Pirates and baseball in general.
Wow.
All right.
Something a little different here.
Mix it up.
When you look at the advent of social media today, and before that, cable TV,
Yeah.
and how sports has basically exploded because you can see everything on every player in every sport.
24/7.
Anytime you want.
Yeah.
Yes, 24/7. And I think that a lot of people lose the ability to. Well, they see these players and these players today, they're definitely the greatest. They're the best players, greatest athletes, way better than anybody that played in this era or that era. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever, they do that. And I always sit there and say, well, if you took a lot of these athletes today, had them playing back then with equipment that was not, the greatest, the field conditions, the sports medicine didn't exist and all, I think it'd be a lot different for them, back then it is there. But what I wanted to talk about in particular with baseball, I with the fact that you can see these guys all the time. It says, if a guy like Roberto Clemente played today, you'd see every play that he'd make.
Yeah.
I honestly, truly believe that they'd be saying he's one of the top 2 greatest players in baseball.
Sir. Yeah.
Yes,
They would have, because you don't see him. I remember the 71 World Series, if you go back and you look at the Baltimore announcers talking about that whole game.
Yeah.
And they could not, every time he came up the bat, they were talking about him. They could not believe how good he was.
What,
and it was
hits?
simply because
13 hits or something.
Yeah,
like that?
well, they kept.
He hit over 400.
They said that, they kept
414,
talking
I
about
think.
him, but the problem, the issue is there that they never saw him play because the Pirates and Baltimore didn't play each other.
Right,
And unless you went to a game in Pittsburgh and watched him play, or if you went and watched him play in Los Angeles against the Dodgers, you didn't see him play.
Good
But you only
points.
saw him a game here and there.
Yeah.
So people did not really know. And then someone like Willie Mays to say what he said about, well, yeah, I got all these great teammates,
Yeah.
but
Tell him what he
the
said.
guy that is Clemente.
Wow.
And that
Willie
came
Mays
from
said
Willie
that.
Mays.
What did he say? Clemente was second to him?
No, he was the best.
He said that Clemente was the best.
You got to listen a little closer.
So
Your
I
history
just
was
sit there
good,
and
but
think
not the
that
hearing.
this mentality, how it is, and I can remember hearing stories about him, and they talk about Dave Parker. One time he threw a guy out of first base when a guy hit a single, and all. I says, that was nothing for Clemente.
Right.
He did it all the time.
I mean, the guy was on a different level. And what I don't understand with a guy like Barry Bonds is, all right, a lot of people I know say that he's the greatest baseball player ever, and I go, why? Because he hit all the home runs?
Right.
I'm taking at least a third of them away because of the steroids.
Hold it. You mean the clear? It's clear.
Well, yeah. But the thing was, he was
And his head was
he was
big.
a hell of a baseball player.
Yeah.
He was an excellent fielder. He could track down a ball.
Yeah.
One of the
Didn't have a
best.
good arm.
That's true.
Okay, he could steal bases.
Yeah.
Bonds, that is.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the complete player that Clemente was.
Right.
But everybody thinks, oh, he's the greatest because it's the home runs.
Right.
Well, let's get rid of baseball and have a home run contest. And whoever hits the most home runs, that's the greatest player. That's how
I'm
I
a
feel
baseball
about the whole
purist.
thing.
Where
They
would
can't
you
do that.
rank Pete Rose? I got him number 1, but you got him in top 5?
I think he's somewhere between 5 and 10.
Because he could play any position.
Oh yeah,
Any
I mean,
position. He
but
could
what
probably-
made him so great is he hustled and hustled.
Yeah.
And my dad loves him. He thinks he's and he was a hell of a baseball player.
Top 5 for Pete Rose? Top
I
5,
I
Al?
have such a dark cloud hanging over the Pete Rose persona in my brain that I can't.
Well, to me,
I just
on
can't.
the baseball.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
a quick story. I was in Vegas years ago. Me and my friends we went with wives and everything. Me
Did
and
you
the
see a
guys got-
degenerate gambler?
Yes, we went by a store. We're in Caesar's
was.
Palace, walking by, and we looked inside. There's a guy out there barking, "Pete Rose here, signing ball." He was signing balls that said, "I bet on baseball." For $100 a pop. He's just sitting there. Pete Rose. We're like, the friggin' Pete Rose. So, I mean, I didn't have much of a high opinion of the guy at the time. It didn't go any higher, Jim.
Well, that was another issue I had with Bonds. I saw him a lot of times treat kids
Yeah.
very poorly. I mean, you're playing a sport. These kids are looking up to you. Wow, I saw, and for a lot of people that say, oh, Michael Jordan wasn't a nice guy and all that, basically because of the way he played on the court, he was ruthless.
Yeah.
He was a killer. You always saw him. He was completely different with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, but that was another problem I had with Bonds. You were an ambassador for baseball. That would have gone a long way for you had you.
Well, look at the life that he led. He was so entitled.
Yeah.
Willie Mays was his
Without a doubt.
godfather. Look, he was always in Major League Baseball and
His
college.
dad was a great player too.
Yeah, Bobby. No doubt about it. But as far as, like, you've all heard of Roger Houston, Smoking Jim saw him at the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he said to
Roger
tell you
Houston and
hi.
I are friends, and we had a conversation. I'll keep it pretty clean. But he was always a gambler. Roger announced over 109, almost 190,000 horse races. Wow. He's a good gambler. He handicaps for programs and everything. He goes, he grew up in Xenia, Ohio, and he's in one of the racing racetracks in Ohio, and who's there? His friend Pete Rose. So he's betting.
They're friends.
Yeah, he's betting. Pete Rose is betting. He's not listening to handicapping and anything. He's betting money like it's water.
Wow.
He needed the action like a friend of mine at the other end of the table. Yeah, and that's a true story that basically he goes, yeah, and Roger's a pretty sharp guy to be 83 and still announcing races every year.
It's difficult for me to rank a player that I never really saw play.
Yeah,
I never saw Clemente play, so I can't really compare him. Yeah, I wish I could have.
Well, you know what makes sense? I've read, like, Pie Traynor got his autograph. We had 12-year-old Little League, wrote it to me, wrote it on there. He was one of the best players when I talked to people in Pittsburgh. I said, because I read about Honus Wagner, how great he was, the Flying Dutchman. They said Pie Traynor was like him. He was the best third baseman in his era. Wow. Guess what kind of publicity he gets? Nothing. He's a Hall of Famer. And he was a nice guy. You never would have known it. Yeah.
That's the advantage that players have today over players from the past.
You're always going to have posterity with these guys because there's so much video of them. There's so much, you can. You're always going to be able to see it.
Above.
Where with Clemente, you've got like the old clips. It's very difficult. There's not whole games you can go watch anywhere.
There are not a lot of video on him. I mean, and when you see some of the throws that he made in those videos, those throws don't even do him any justice. They're amazing. They're incredible. You're like, holy smokes.
Well,
But
how about
there
his
were
catches?
throws
How about his
that he
catches and
made,
throws? Yeah.
Like catching a ball, spinning around, and he's up against the wall and throwing the ball on a dime to home plate like it was nothing. There's never been an arm like that.
I'd love to see him play.
People wouldn't tag up from third.
I saw him play live in stadiums and stuff and on TV.
What was his last year playing?
71.
Yeah, when he died, yeah.
I was there when he hit his 3,000.
Really?
So he says there's no proof that he was there. He doesn't even know baseball. He lied for a few years.
Reception.
I mean, he was, you see that, you see a throw like that because he was an amazing fielder.
Yeah.
He could track down a ball, but the way he threw the ball, you would go, when I think about it, you'd be like, you couldn't believe it when you saw that throw.
Yeah, sure.
The only other player that I ever would be like, did you see what he just did?
Yeah.
Was Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's
You
a
would
great
just sit
point.
there. I remember in college, his freshman year, and we're watching. All my friends were watching North Carolina play, and we're got all this food. We're sitting there watching it, and he just would do one of his amazing things, and we would just turn and look at each other. Did he just do? We couldn't believe it.
Who was better, him or Dr. J?
Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player that ever played. No, he's number one.
Well, there's a guy named Wilt Chamberlain. You don't
Yeah,
count Wilt.
Wilt.
Except Wilt, right?
Wilt and Kareem. I have Kareem number 2, and I have Kobe Bryant number 3, and then Wilt.
You sure
3.
you like basketball?
I'm telling you.
He knows basketball, unlike you. I got my money on Steve. No, it's a good discussion. Hey,
there's one
Aaron,
guy.
We
I know
only got 4 minutes.
Harry would be like upset. I know he's a big
Did you say
LeBron
3?
James fan. LeBron James,
4,
I can't even put him in the top 10. I'm sorry, I can't.
I don't know much about basketball, but he took 3 different teams to championships. He played in how many? how many finals? I don't know basketball that
He,
well.
If he never
My-
leaves
my
Cleveland, he
goodness.
never goes to one.
Yeah.
The reason he won with Cleveland is because when he left, they were so bad they was
They
able
built
to
super
draft
teams. He had two
Kyrie
super
Irving.
teams built for him, and all that. And
Yeah.
even though, like I said, if some of those championship series he lost. They got swept in one. I mean, he's just not. And if you ever watch him, he doesn't. He flops a lot. Someone gets a steal or takes a ball away from someone somewhere, and he's walking down the court. You never saw that with Michael Jordan. Played all out all the time.
Yeah.
No, here's what I saw. Michael Jordan's first 3 or 4 years. Like, I grew up in a basketball family. I love baseball and football, so I'd watch. And
Was those the years Detroit was beating him? The Pistons was beating him
yeah,
that year?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, how about the last shot comes to him? He refused it a few times and
When?
didn't want to take last-second shots his
When?
first 3-4 years. Look at the tape, right? Yeah. He wouldn't take that shot, and then a couple times he did and missed it.
He made up for it, though, didn't he?
No.
He
No, every game's important,
Too
bro.
bad he got suspended for a couple of years for
and he
gambling.
played at a time where it was
Might have won more
football on a
championships.
basketball court.
Yes, it was.
They-
Very
they
physical.
it was very, very physical, which today you can't face guard. You can't. There's no defense anymore.
Who was
Right.
better in baseball, Clemente or Jordan?
Well, Smoking Jim, were you better in not playing baseball or just good in football because you're running away from the cops?
Oh, jeez.
Just saying, folks. We're all friends
Can,
here.
can I throw in one more thing before we
Yeah,
sign
yeah,
off?
we're-
Because I'm not going to be
we
here
got
for a
about
couple
a
of
minute
weeks.
or
I was
so.
thinking about this. I got to congratulate you, honestly, seriously. You called Cooper DeJean.
Thank you, sir.
You called Jordan Addison.
Thank you, sir.
We both called Ibuka.
Yes,
you said Joey Porter Jr. is a grabber. This man's been spot on.
Thank you,
He
sir.
should still be a Steelers scout.
Thank
You
you,
have
sir.
my
Appreciate
support.
No, you
They
know why?
need you. They need you, my
Hey, Mike,
friend.
you don't know, but he was friends with Tomlin, but he kept talking bad about him. So they don't invite him anymore.
I just had to say.
Thank you.
Before I get outta
appreciate
here.
that. I
No,
appreciate
well,
that, Mike.
hey, we appreciate you watching the show. We're going to wrap this up shortly. Some technological difficulties. Somehow we handled it without our graphics and our segments broken up, but I think we got through each segment. And we talked not enough about the Steelers because we can't fix their problems. So keep bleeding black and gold. We hope for the wins. We hope with the Penguins that they can, since they're rebuilding unofficially, that we'll have a better team this year. And you're still keeping the 3 older guys, and guess what? They're still playing pretty well. Don't believe Smoking Jim on playing baseball. Just listen to him as an NFL scout. And when he talks history like he did today, write it down. And if you notice, between all of us, he hasn't talked anything about gambling. So please stay Joey strong.